Who wants to start? Should I start? Hey, I'm Ethan Skolnick here on the Five Pieces YouTube channel, and I'm cold. Let's see who we've got today. We're doing yard prep, getting you ready for Dolphins Packers. Look at Eric's glasses. Look at that. That is smooth. I'm here at Hard Rock Stadium, as you can see behind me, getting the field ready. Not everybody's in the building. Kind of quiet in the parking lot today. Not as much tailgating as usual. We'll introduce the cast of characters here in a second. Before we do, I want to tell you about our great sponsor. Of course, it's Prize Picks. Use the code 5 FIVE. Get your initial deposit matched up to $100. You can play right away as soon as you get the money. There's no rollovers, so you can get your money out. It's legal in the state of Florida as well as all around the country. So make sure you check it out. Download it from the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or go to prizepicks.com. Also, a full NBA day today, so the NBA Christmas game, so you can combine the Christmas Day games. There are 5 of them with the NFL games if you want. So if there's ever a day to play, this is the day. We'll give you some of our Dolphins picks here as we go forward. Let's go through the crew a little bit here before we start. We got Andy up on the top left. We've got Michael. We've got Lewis. We've got Eric. We've got, again, the Dolphins and the Packers. And this game, and I'll start here with you, Lewis, this game has taken on a little bit of a different significance here because we didn't know before it started, or before yesterday, sort of what Green Bay's position would be. And they caught every single break yesterday. So they actually are in position to get themselves back in the NFC playoff picture. That changes things today, doesn't it? A little bit?
I mean, I suppose it does from the standpoint of the effort level the Packers are going to put forward. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of instances where the Packers are going to give it everything they've got rather than just kind of standing on their laurels and saying, well, the season's over. If the season were over, probably wouldn't even be seeing Aaron Rodgers at this point. We'd probably be seeing Jordan Love just so he could put on an audition for whoever his next team's going to be, because I'm firmly convinced that the Packers have no love for Jordan Love at this point. So, but with that said, by the way, I did pick the over on Aaron Rodgers passing yards, not Tua's, just because I don't trust Miami's defense to not let up yardage. And so we'll see where that goes. But as far as this game goes, the biggest insignificance is for Miami. Pretty much, we've reached the point right now in the season where any combination of the next 3 games, if we win 2 of them, we're in the playoffs. It's just a question of where the seeding will be. And for me, yes, the seeding is important, but more important for me is just win all the games for real. Because I said after the show was over, I said after last week's show on post game, I said it on Post Fans Nation as well. There's nobody in this rest of the schedule that makes me nervous. I am not worried about Aaron Rodgers, or should I say the corpse of Aaron Rodgers and his so-called gang of misfits at the skill positions. I am not scared of Mac Jones, and I am most certainly not scared of the 3-headed hydra that is the New York Jets quarterback situation. So all Miami has to do today, just do your business, make sure that everything gets set up. Do me a favor and get Jeff Wilson over 25 yards rushing. That'd be fantastic. And then we'll go from there.
Eric, let's go to you on this next. When you take a look at the Dolphins situation, it doesn't feel like they're on a 3-game losing streak because it doesn't feel like they've played that poorly. Like, I mean, the Bills game, they played pretty well. Like, I mean, they were in that game. They probably should have closed that game out. So it doesn't feel like a team that's reeling right now. But I kind of feel like if things start poorly today, that it trends that direction, that you kind of have some of these doubts and all that stuff happening. If you're Mike McDaniel today, do you try to establish something different? Do you try to get the running game going a little earlier, or do you try to get Tua comfortable?
Well, you see, the thing with the running game and getting it established early. First off, the Packers are, I believe, 32nd in the league in stopping the run. So that's something that I think Miami should be attacking. But my issue with Mike McDaniel and the run game is he really loves it. When he does get it going early, he gets it going early, but he doesn't keep it going late. You go to Buffalo, Raheem Mostert's got over 100 in the first half. You go back to even further back to the very first game against the Jets, Raheem Mostert, 100 yards in the first half, kind of disappears in the second half. So if I'm looking for the run game, I'm looking for the run game not just in the first 30 minutes. I'm looking for it especially in the third and fourth quarters when you're really hoping to kind of salt the game away and kind of play keep away from Aaron Rodgers and that Packers offense. Even though he is, as Lewis says, the corpse of Aaron Rodgers, it's still, you never know when those great ones have one more moment left in them.
Michael, the defense. Let's pivot here. The Dolphins have a Pro Bowler. I'm not sure it was the right Pro Bowler. I'm not sure even he thinks he was the right Pro Bowler. But the Packers, as Lewis mentions, they don't have any receivers. Like this is not the type of game you should be worried about them hurting you on the outside. I'm actually more concerned about Aaron Jones in general against the Dolphins, both as a runner and a receiver. What should I be worried about from the Dolphins defense perspective?
Yeah, I'm with you there. You know, Christian Watson can be he can be a bit of a big play threat, but Alan Lazard is not really someone to be terrified of. But when you have AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, who are as good as the next, who can keep each other fresh, they're so good at catching out of the backfield. And this is a different Packers team than we're used to. This is a run first Packers team, along with some dump offs out of the backfield. Robert Tanyan, I expect him to be involved quite a bit as well. So if you can wrap that up near the line of scrimmage there, I think that this is a bad matchup for the Packers on that end. That the weaknesses that the Dolphins have don't terribly match up with what the strengths of the Packers are right now. And if you watch Aaron Rodgers this year, I see the quarterback ratings, which Dolphins fans of all fans know to really throw those out the window. But I still see people putting Aaron Rodgers in the top 10 and whatnot. And I'm as big of an Aaron Rodgers fan as it gets in terms of his play on the field. But something's just so off. And I know that he's getting up there in age. I know that it probably takes a bit out of him to not play on a team that's one likely to make the playoffs. But even if they somehow do, they're not going to make any noise. But he's just missing throws. He can go and grab the collar of Christian Watson and Lazard and so forth all he wants, but he is missing some wide open throws and just does not look like the Aaron Rodgers that we're used to. He doesn't even look like a top 20 quarterback out there lately. So I don't think that this really sets up well for Green Bay, but if you are going to be worried about anyone, it's got to be those backs. Oh.
Can't hear you, Ethan.
All right. Andy, if anything sets up well for Green Bay, it would be the fact that the temperature is a little bit closer to what they're accustomed to than to what the Dolphins are accustomed to. I mean, to be honest, the temperature is kind of close to where it was. Well, without the snow, obviously, but it's not that far above where it was at Buffalo last week. I mean, it's in the 40s today as we're getting started. Does that change game plan at all? I mean, it's not going to be any precipitation, but is there anything again that you would look at that the Dolphins should do differently under the circumstances?
Honestly, not really. I think McDaniel's issue is like he has a Ferrari, and then he put a supercharger on it. He put a turbo on it with Waddle and Hill, and he just wants to go 150 all day long, bro. But you got to do your oil changes. You got to rotate your tires. Okay, run the ball, dump offs. You can't just rip it every day all day. So, like Michael said, run the ball, establish the run against his poorest rushing defense. Take advantage that the field might be a little slippery by game time because it's been raining all morning here in Miami Gardens, and take control at your home at the Rock. Make this a place where no one wants to come and play during September and during December. You don't have the sun helping you out, so you don't have the heat like Bills fans like to mention. Prove to them that you don't need it. This team is not a hard team. It's not a dangerous team. All they got is that the corpse of Aaron Rodgers, like Lewis mentioned. Beat them. We should win this game 30-10, man. I don't want to see Green Bay putting on mad points. I don't want to see us with less than 27 points.
Yeah, Andy, I'm with you, and I understand though. Also, I'll go to Eric on this. I understand why Dolphin fans get freaked out because, I mean, how many seasons do I need to go through where there were 2 or 3 games left, and they needed to win this many or this many, and they never get the ones that they need, right? Like it's going up to Buffalo or it's going up to New England and Minnesota if you go way back to 2002 or any of these situations. It seems like previous Dolphins teams folded. What gives you confidence, other than, again, that the schedule is somewhat favorable here, that you're playing kind of 3 middling teams to close it? What gives you any confidence that, because they've played middling teams and lost, this franchise has, when they've needed to win a game or two. Why is this different?
So if I had to lay out why this is different, the first thing would be the quarterback. I think they've got a better quarterback here than, Tua is very clearly the best quarterback that they've had since Marino. I don't think that's up for debate. So I think they're going to have the best quarterback on the field in each of the last 3 games. And then on top of that, you look at the track record of this team this season. For the most part, this team has won all the games they're supposed to win. They haven't been the team that, sure, they played down to the Texans a little bit in the second half. But for the most part, this is a team that's taking care of business, specifically against teams that they should beat. And I think that trend is just going to be something that continues, because the only games they've lost this year are, you look back at the games without Tua, and then you're looking at LA, at San Francisco, at Buffalo. They really haven't struggled to put away those middling teams.
Well, we saw against Houston, obviously, they got way up and then fell apart a little bit in the second half. I'm somewhat concerned about that today. Lewis, I'm going to go to you with one more, and then I'm going to let you take over here, because I have to do my own kind of separate prize pick show in a second. So I'll let you handle the prize pick stuff here. But let's start with the one that you mentioned. And again, use that code 5, FIVE, get your initial deposit matched up to $100. Again, thanks to our producer today, Manny Chang. Merry Christmas to everybody, obviously, who's out there watching, and a little bit more Christmas weather here today. You said you like Rodgers over and Tua under. What are those two numbers as we're looking here?
Well, technically, I didn't say Tua under. I just said I trusted.
You may not play it, right? Okay,
yeah.
I got you. Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Because what I did was I picked the Aaron Rodgers over. I think it's at like 235 passing yards.
Yeah.
Which for Aaron Rodgers, again, knowing how the Miami Dolphins defense seems to struggle stopping the pass lately, I feel like this is where I sort of disagree a little bit with the notion that Aaron Jones is just going to rip us apart in the running game, because again, Miami has shown over and over and over again that when it comes to actual running backs, like traditional running of the football, they're not getting past them. Zach Sealer is there. Christian Wilkins is coming on like a superstar lately, and the fact that he got snubbed over other people, and also the fact that Xavier Howard got in for no reason whatsoever. That's besides the point. Again, we know the Pro Bowl's a sham, but it is what it is. The fact that they have all these pieces, and of course, Landon Roberts, he's going to be gunning those gaps. He's going to be chasing after running backs. I don't think Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon are going to really gash us that much in the running game. But as far as passers, oh, that's a different discussion. I picked Aaron Jones over receiving yards today.
Yeah,
because if there's one thing that Miami is really bad at, it's defending receiving running backs. Like that is where they're going to meet their struggle. Like if Aaron Jones wants to test the middle of the field, he'll probably hit a few. He'll probably hit a deep shot here and there if Noah Igbenogany ends up having to go out there for whatever reason, God forbid. So as far as I'm concerned, I picked Aaron Jones on the over for receiving yards. I picked Aaron Rodgers over for passing yards. It was like 235. That's not a whole lot. On the Miami side of things, I picked Raheem Most. I actually picked Jeff Wilson going over, I think it was 23.5 rushing yards. So I'm under the assumption that he's going to play. And I'm going under the assumption that Mike McDaniel, I'm praying, please, for the love of all that is good in the world, take the fact that this Green Bay Packers team sucks at stopping the run, let Jeff Wilson do some work. And if you let Mostert do most of it, that's fine. My hope is that either Wilson's going to get a few carries and break free, or at worst, he gets a DNP and I just go back to going a 5-man play instead of a 6-man.
All right, so use that code 5 over at Prize Picks. Pivot it to Michael here as we go. I do want to mention one more thing. BetterEdge.com. Use that code 5RSN. Andy here is one of the hosts of Setting the Edge that comes up here weekly. We also got we have an NBA. I'm the pacer today on the NBA Christmas Day games, which means that's an easy win against me because I didn't have a feel for any of the games that I played. But go to BetterEdge.com. Use that code 5RSN there. That's number 5RSN. You get $20 free to play. All right, you guys are going to take it from here. Check out the post-game show right after the game. I'll probably join here from the stadium as well. Have a Merry Christmas. And check out Prize Picks on 5. We're going to be doing that show here in a few minutes as well.
All right. So before we get any further, just want to, Manny, can you pull up that super chat real quick, please, from Cap for Life? Much appreciated, Cap. $10 for us. I appreciate it. It helps to support the show, helps support 5 Reasons what we do. We got the Jets, Patriots, Steelers, and Titans all fighting for that last spot. We cannot afford to take this game lightly. Understand, Cap, we're not taking the game lightly. but I'm not going to pretend that the Green Bay Packers are some sort of ridiculous threat. The Green Bay Packers have very little going for them aside from maybe their secondary, which is also part of why I decided not to choose the over on Tua's passing yards. I'm hoping against hope that McDaniel will actually decide to run the ball a little bit today. And even if he doesn't, though, I struggle to see just the talent differential. Like, again, the corpse of Aaron Rodgers, his undead corpse. This is not the Aaron Rodgers we once knew. Not only is he really, really getting old, he's up there in age, he's also hampered by how many injuries now? He broke his thumb. He's got a rib cage problem. What was it? He's like, his lungs are collapsing. Like, what else is wrong with him? I don't know. Mike, you said you're the Aaron Rodgers guy. What injuries does he have right now? Like, all of them?
Yeah, he's what was it when Andrew Luck finally went into the doctors after years of getting battered around, and the doctor said they're more consistent with a car crash than with a football player. I also think the biggest injury is upstairs with Aaron Rodgers right now. I mean, he's so furious with everyone on that team. He's just the one in the middle who hates it there, who doesn't want to be a part of this. I just can't imagine he's in a
shouldn't have signed the contract.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so unhappy. I'm so unhappy. I want everyone to know how unhappy I am. I'm going to lock myself down for a couple more years of this. Makes perfect sense.
Money talks. So again, that's kind of why I feel like this game is not. There's a difference between taking it lightly and saying no, Miami should win this game, because what aspects of the Green Bay Packers do we actually legitimately have to look at and say this is the thing that will make sure that we lose this game? Because with other teams, you could look at and be like, okay, Buffalo, Josh Allen is dangerous. He's a dual threat. Miami struggles with running quarterbacks. That's the real weakness that these guys have. I understand that. And they have a really solid defense. Okay, got it. There's a threat there. What are we pointing at with the Green Bay Packers? Aaron Jones out of the backfield? Is that the only thing that we have to worry about? Like, I'm looking around, and aside from the fact that they have a decent secondary, what exactly is it about the Green Bay Packers that I'm supposed to be scared of? I'll take any takers on this.
Just that secondary group in the backs is really all I can think about on my end. Their special teams has obviously been a laughing matter for a couple years now. Aaron Rodgers looks just remarkably off. That offensive line has been beaten up all year long. Just a revolving door of, hey, he's healthy now, he's back out. You do have a great secondary, though. You do have a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism on the back end there, but you can run it on them just fine. This is not the Packers team you're used to. If they didn't have, the Aaron Rodgers name attached to the quarterback, and they didn't have, the green and yellow there, and this was a Houston Texans team with this personnel, it would be looked at completely differently. But because it's Vince Lombardi and Brett Favre and Bart Starr, it gets looked at a bit differently.
I do wonder, and I want to get everybody else's feedback on this, because I do think that there is a potential for this. Are there any concerns about a potential letdown coming off of the heartbreaker in Buffalo, coming off of the emotional highs and lows of that game? Kind of playing an underwhelming Green Bay team, with your playoff lives kind of on the line, but not really. Jets and Patriots losing kind of takes a little bit of pressure off. Is there any potential for that kind of letdown out of the Dolphins today?
There always is, technically, but I don't think this team is wired that way. We saw when we won 3 in a row, lost 2 in a row, we saw the heart of this team when 5 straight ripped them off. Then we lost 3 straight until a little more talented rosters. But these next 3, I think this team is focused. Who knows? Maybe Tua's a little pissed off that he got snubbed off the Pro Bowl. Wilkins, I know Wilkins is taking that personally. Maybe not Tua, but Wilkins is taking that personally. Wilkins is going to go crazy like a madman. Might get 12 more tackles today like he did last game. This team is wired differently, and I think that starts at the top with the coach. And then it goes to the quarterback, the Hill, the leaders on this team. I'm not worried about that personally.
Okay, yeah, I've already gone ahead and I've said that I feel like there's nothing to worry about here. Jermaine King, Tua time to shut the haters up. I mean, listen, man, listen. Let me put it this way. Tua's done literally everything we've asked him to do, aside from get to the playoffs, which he literally can't do until the season is over. So I kind of feel like at this point, even if Tua somehow miraculously wins a Super Bowl, it's still not going to shut any haters up. Tua's just that guy now. He's the one that nobody likes. And I don't know why. It's not like he said anything inflammatory. It's not like he said anything controversial. He's a very nice guy. He's very heartfelt. He's very warm. He's a very nice person. I guess maybe the left-handed brain damage that people have, they don't like to see it. They still don't like him. But I don't know. But it is what it is. What I'm going to go ahead and do now, we're going to
why though? It's people don't like to see people better than you. They like to see you at your level or under. That's in real life, and that's in sports, and that's everywhere.
Okay, but
Tua's kicking ass. He's a top 5 quarterback. Other fans are like, damn, I wish he was.
Most players don't give to a crap. It's only media and fans. So who are we talking about?
Exactly. I'm talking about fans and media. And media, a lot of the media, remember in the offseason, they were going against Tua. They're saying, no, this guy's going to flop. Hill's going to have a horrible career now. And look, they're all wrong. All of them are wrong. So people don't like to be wrong, and people don't like it when your quarterback is better than theirs.
Fair enough. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to do our predictions. Let's go ahead and see. I'm going to start with you, Michael. What happens in this game? Who ends up being the X factor? And what's the final score as far as the game is concerned?
I think this is the game that finally, and maybe I'm just in the Christmas spirit, wishing and hoping for this, but I think that this is a big day for Mostert and Wilson in running the ball, and thus it becomes a big play action day for Tua. It's what he really excels at. So I think Waddle gets involved out the play action. I really like Sherfield. He's been kind of quiet in the last couple weeks. I like him to have a really good day today.
I picked the over on him, 25 yards receiving.
That feels easy at this point. I think Sherfield has a nice day, and I think that Rodgers continues to be a bit frustrated on his end. So I'm in line with what Andy was saying that he needed, and I really do think this is going to be maybe a 31-17 ball game for the Dolphins.
All right, Andy, you go out next.
I think defensively, we're going to need to have a big game from both Chubb and from Phillips, especially that it seems like the left tackle, David Bacardi, but I can't pronounce his name, man.
David Bakhtiari.
Bakhtiari, thank you, sir. They're out. He's one of the best left tackles in the league. We should be able to terrorize Aaron Rodgers today on the edges and in the middle. This pass rush is going to make or break how the performance today. Score, honestly, 33-14. That's what it should be. That's what I think it should be.
Eric.
Okay. So in this one, I think ironically Tua gets his first career win under 50 degrees, and it's going to come at home. So I think the Dolphins do win this one, and they should win it relatively comfortably. Give me 31-20 going away in the fourth.
All right. So I believe this was the score that I put in when I did Pulse of Nation. I went ahead and I said something along the lines of 31-24. Might have been 33-24. I just feel like I think the Packers are going to put up points. Don't misunderstand me. I feel like I don't trust the defense that much. I don't trust them to actually stop them from getting yards. Maybe they'll stop a few, maybe do the bend don't break thing a little bit. But I think the Packers are going to put up points. But when it comes to whose offense is the more which one is more explosive, there's no question about it that it's Miami. So as long as Tua just doesn't make mistakes, I'd see no reason why this game should not be a win for Miami. So I'm just going to go ahead and officially say 33-24. Packers will put up points, and I'll get my prize picks. But the Dolphins will win this game for sure. All right. With all that said and done, gentlemen, any final thoughts before we call it a show?
Prize picks. Take advantage. I know this is basketball, but take advantage of that Nikola Jokic price square today. All he needs to do is score 1 point. I mixed that with Waddle over because that's hit out of 15 games, it's hit 13 times. And I'm going with the Tua over because I know McDaniel's going to pass that thing over the field.
Yep. So, use that promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. Really helps us out here at the 5 Reasons Sports Network when you do that as well. So much appreciated for anybody who does sign up. And you're helping yourself out too, man. All you have to do is just pick the right guys at the right moments, and you might end up making a big win. All right. with all that said and done, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Eric. And of course, thank you, Manny, in the background. We couldn't do any of this stuff without you. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. I'll see you for postgame, and hopefully see you guys for postgame as well. And we will see you all as soon as the Miami Dolphins, hopefully anyway, win this game going away.